We are live. Let me refresh this thing. Make sure you can see us. Make sure you can hear us. And no echo or crazy pixels or anything weird. Everything is good.
Everything
Looks
looks good.
like, yeah, everything looks clear. Everything looks good. Facebook and Instagram are back up.
Nice. Everybody.
People buying stocks. Big money mode. You put money in Facebook on the dip. You bought the dip, huh?
Oh.
He didn't say anything. We'll see what he says. I'm going to go to the chat and not only see who's here, but there's a poll question. How are your sales this weekend? Please answer that question. 4 different options, and then we'll read the results and see what's going on. All right, let me see. The man, misinformation in hand. What's up? SA, back to Money Mondays. Sneaker pickers. Kevin, sales are steady, views are down. Let me see. Josh Brown, Big Money Mo, Christian, Pacers, Kaiser sold a PS5 today. Checks over stripes. What up? Outsourcing right now. Big Money Mo says, hell no, he didn't buy on the dip. 5% drop, Hustle V. Sales were fire. Nathan, what's up? Browntown Fines. AN. Let me see. Oh, there we go, Big Money Mo. Putting in big money. 3K and other dips, though. What's up, Southtown Fines? Most Closet. Too much sourcing, not enough listing.
Oh, that's not good.
Let me see. And we'll see who else comes in. SA. I'm here. So how were sales this weekend? We have 26% fire, 26%, 29% good,
Okay.
29% okay, 17% trash. So at least the lowest on this was trash. So that's good. Southtown Finance at the gym right now. And here's the thing. So Friday, sales were pretty low. Saturday, they got a little bit better, and then Sunday was a lot better. So it kind of like gradually got better and better. Sunday was like a $1,300 day. I was like, all right, we're getting somewhere.
Right.
Today was okay. I have like like 2 pending best offers that they have
Oh,
good ass feedback, haven't paid. Come on now.
had to
So it
be
got a little bit better as the weekend went on.
right.
What
Right.
about you?
Mine was different. Like Saturday was strong. Got over 1,000 there. Friday was low. And then went from Friday down. I mean lower, and then went up Saturday, and then went down Sunday,
Mm,
and then now we just hit 1,000 already. So it's kind of like a up and down roller coaster. But
mm,
overall, I'd call it a win. It's gone are the sub you know $700 days hopefully.
yeah.
So from here on out, hopefully it's just gonna start to build up. And obviously with all the now we've just been paying more attention with stuff. Like I always say, clearance all the old inventory, retake photos, refresh listings on the ones that are worth holding on to. So those have been paying off. We finally listed everything on Goat. Uh,
Mm,
with multiple quantities, we only listed maximum of 2.
mm,
There are some that have 4 or 5, but I
yeah.
only do 2. Be easier to do that. So we got up to about 700 listings on Goat. So
Nice.
it'll be fun when it comes to taking down when they sell, trying to locate those things. But yeah.
Let me see. Kent, Sunday was good for us. Eric D, what up? Let me see. Oh, Kevin, good evening. Stevie D also here. Pacers. Let me see. Oh, talking about Big Money Mo, Rolex collection. Who on? When did you post that video? Who saw B's video on his?
That was the 1st of October. That was the
Yeah,
first day of Q4.
yeah. Who saw that inventory? Nice and organized. Who saw that
Um,
working space? Nice and organized, huh?
so
A little
so
beehive.
Yep, exactly. That's, I mean, most of the comments there are like organization, and then, it's a nice place to be, right? So that's the goal, to make this the happy place. So that's kind of like, um, when it's all clean and organized, it's kind of like helps the brain juice function better. At the end of the day, ultimately, right? It's doing the hard part, uh, before, it's selling and having to look for it multiple times, because uh, come Q4, the height of Q4, we don't want all that headache trying to locate wherever things are.
Yeah, very true. You
So,
just want to find it, ship it, get it out, done.
yep, 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 yep.
So let me see. People want to see. Can we see the Big Money Mo Hive? How does that look like? Big
Right,
Money Mo
right.
requests out there. You got to fulfill
Yep,
these requests. The
yep.
people are speaking. Let me see. All right. So today's. Oh, how do you guys organize clothes? Do you hang everything up?
No, the only ones that are hanging are jerseys and the big jackets, like the puffer jackets. Everything else like hoodies, and sweaters, and pretty much stuff that could be put on a poly bag, that would fit on a padded flat rate, are all in bins. So the ones you see are like the bulky ones that you really don't want to kind of like deflate, because I'm afraid that customer receives it and the puffy jackets is just flat.
Yeah, the same thing. The jerseys also because the sewn ones they fold. If you try to
Yeah,
fold them, they
yeah,
fold weird. You don't want to crease the numbers or
yes,
letters or
yes.
logos. So I have the jerseys hung up. Same thing with the
That's kind of like what
jackets.
you have to do, right? Like even with the
Yeah,
printed ones, because like some of them they could stick, right? And then
yeah,
just we just try to have less headaches, because some people are picky.
yeah. Even when you ship them, you have to be careful how you kind of fold it. So
Yeah,
I just wait until someone buys it, especially if
yeah.
they're going to be spending, depending what it is, $200 to $300. But
Mm-hmm.
jackets, same thing. Those are hung up. But everything else, like B said, I have them in bins. They're folded. They're ready to go. They're already in the poly bag. I just have the style code and size, whatever it is. But everything's already ready to go. I just buy it, ship it out. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
But today, 10 tips for overcoming business setbacks. This is advice from 10 CEOs on overcoming business setbacks. So 10 tips, their advice, and then let's see what B thinks about it.
All right.
Um, and the thing is, too, we're going to talk more about like setbacks and getting things going just because we know it is drier than usual, that kind of thing. And you've been seeing more and more in the news talking about the ports, what's
Yeah.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it's getting better anytime
Mm-hmm.
soon. A lot of people are worried about other type of items and
Yeah, the
shortages
commodities,
and
right? The
yeah,
actual real people that need to survive, right? Like
yeah.
food and stuff like that. Gasoline, and stuff
hmm
like that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely taking its toll.
Mm-hmm.
I saw I think it said like different Dollar Tree in different cities and
That's
states,
just
they're going up to $1.50.
a
You're like, this
dollar
is the
fifty.
dollar store, damn it, and it's supposed to stay a dollar.
I mean, imagine that they'd increase their profitability by 50% if they double it. If they add 50 cents, I mean, I would increase it at this point if you have the
Now they
supply
don't have a
and all
choice.
that.
I mean,
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
food prices going up too. SA, back order everywhere says Kent. So my prices went up as well. Also says SA. They can't get dollar items. Costco getting wiped out, says
Mm-hmm.
Eric D. Let's see, TJ Maxx and Ross getting smacked around on CNBC today, says Coach Steve. So I have to look for that and see if they have anything new. I'll throw that on the Wednesday live.
Mm-hmm.
And Nike upped their prices at the outlets today too. Big Money Mo.
Mm.
Man, upping their prices. They never even had a sale or nothing. They're just like going all in. You know
Yeah.
what? You want that swoosh? You're paying premium.
Yeah. Exactly. Because at this point, it's the demand is just gonna get higher, and then the supply is not there, and then coupled with Christmas. Nobody can't stop Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of people gonna have to pay more.
But Sneaker Picker says malls are getting restocks, pollens everywhere. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, some late pairs, I that doesn't surprise me.
Right. Right.
But the thing is, oh man, I just want to see what it's gonna be like next couple of months,
Yeah.
and even
Yeah.
getting into next year. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh man, I think things are gonna get real iffy.
Yep.
Clearance store raising prices too. Element 55 went from 85 to 105. Like no one even buying these big money, Mo.
Yep. But
Man,
come Christmas time, that's the only
that's true.
available gift available there. So
Yeah, that's
we'll
that's
be
that's gonna be interesting. Like
yeah, we'll be seeing some like kids rocking like
Air
outlets.
Max Thea. We always
Yeah.
go back to the Air Max Thea. It's our go-to.
Yeah, Air Max Dia and just some Amazon kicks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The $85 retail shoes.
Yeah, a
Will
lot of
be
those.
like 79.99 on Nike, extra 10% for Christmas.
Yeah, man. So yeah, get everything listed, get the prices up, get everything ready to go. Cause I mean, the thing is, here's the thing that also interests me. What are people going to be spending their money on? Because I feel like, seeing a lot of the other reports are saying like FedEx and UPS,
Mhm.
even going to the post office, they have all these signs now hiring,
Right.
all three of
Everywhere
them,
high.
looking for people to help
Yeah.
out with shipments. And then people are not working. So
No,
what is going on?
I was getting my car change oil earlier, right? And then I went through a drive-through Valvoline, and the manager, which I know him already, I've been there a few times. He's just asking every person that drove through, hey, anybody who needs work? Anybody needs work? I'm like, wow. It's like, when have they cared so much? Because at
Hmm.
the end of the day, now it's their neck on the line because, right now they're overworked. Not really. They just can't, take off whenever they want to.
Yeah. Yes, Pacers. So yeah, shipping prices did go up. I know a lot of people were trying to get all their shipments out, like
Oh,
before they went up. But I mean, it's not. It doesn't. Same thing like B said. I mean, it's not going to make or break you on these prices because yes, they did go up a little bit, but it's not like out of control. Remember, UPS, FedEx. There's different options too, depending what you're shipping out.
right, right, right.
Um, Sneakers will make money, but I fearful all the clothes I'm sitting won't move and I have great items. I think definitely winter stuff. We talked about that.
Mhm.
Hoodies,
Yeah.
jackets. I sold one of the huge puffy jackets.
No, nice.
So this weekend. So I think people are definitely gonna once it starts getting colder. We're not
Yeah,
there yet for
yeah.
that.
The
So
change season, right? I think that's kind of like gets people in the mood to get newer wardrobe, newer style. So that's really gonna drive sales. And also too, you have to remember like one of the things that kind of like is kind of like a backwards thinking, because before we want higher end items, at the end of the day, there's there's least people in our population that can afford over $200 for
mhm,
gifts or for just everyday items, but there's a lot more of our population that can afford the $50 to $75 items.
mhm,
That's why one of the most, our hoodies, our sweaters, our jackets, if you get them from Ross or outlets that are sub $30, and if you sell it for 60, 70, you're doing good as ROI wise. And that's one of the main reasons why these are the ASP that moves better on other platforms like Mercari and Poshmark. So those are just two things that I'm focusing on, getting those sub $100 items, because we're gonna pay uh fees on eBay anyway,
yeah.
right? Like for example, for clothing, we pay fees on eBay, so might as well cross list it on Mercari and Poshmark at the same time.
Let me go back up to see terrible gas shortages in Europe now. Things making worse. Did you guys hear? I didn't see that one. But I know we're going to start seeing a lot more on here and seeing what's going on. Food shortages, Eric D. Kent. Pirate ship now ships with UPS. I did see that. Let me see. Where else are we on here? How much did you sell the puffer jacket? I think I sold it for 140, 150 around there. But the crazy thing is, it's the same puffer that everybody else. there's some dudes on there for like 79. I'm like,
That's wild.
man, that's
Uh,
I
well,
don't know.
you just have $150 photo. That's why.
Well, must be it.
Yeah.
Let me see. My padded flat rate 875 now. So depending on the eBay, some of the
Yeah.
cheaper rates you get from your store and things like that. Hawaii flat rate 975 used to be 8, so that's a $1.75 increase there. Says Trey. Let me go back up. Anything else? UPS labels, same thing. And I think that'll be it. So let's get started. We got 10 of them to go through. So some of these are gonna be quick.
Okay.
Some might take a little bit longer. We'll see. So here we go. Advice from 10 CEOs on overcoming business setbacks. All right, number 1, focus on what you can control. So focus on something you can do or fix no matter how small. Break down tasks into manageable pieces and complete them one by one. Then take the time to appreciate the accomplishment along the way. You'll make it through, but remember, like it doesn't matter how small, progress is progress. So one thing at a time. We can't control Nike getting
Yep.
trash or not having sales or Ross not having anything
Right.
with a swoosh on it.
Yeah.
We can control our current inventory, what we have.
Right.
We can't control our listings.
Yeah.
We can control death pile that's there. We can control organizing, pre-packing, things like that.
Right.
So I do like the focus on what you can control part. There's no need to cry over how dry it is. We already know it is.
Yeah.
So now it's like, what can we
new.
do to get out of this to keep the sales going and pumping up?
Yeah, I think for me, it's like if you have death piles and you're not organized and you're complaining about not getting any other items or complaining about stores not getting it, you're just making an excuse to do the work. You're just trying to pass the blame on other people or other stores, because ultimately, like I said, you can control what you can, and that's my primary example. We cross-listed. I think my wife's been trying to make it a point that she could cross-list 25 items per day, uh, to Mercari and to Poshmark, and out of that, over the weekend, it resulted to about $300 in sales. So $300 may not be much compared to what we could sell on eBay, but since we're not going out and buying products, we're trying to make the most of our time by cross listing, right? Like, yes, it took my wife about an hour to cross list about 50 items on 2 platforms, but it paid off as sales. So I think those are just very simple things. It's like I said, let's not try to overcomplicate things, because we know it's not like it's our only stores not getting it, right? Big props to people that have taken care of their inventory, listed everything, and now some of them are doing garage sale and thrifting, right? So those are still there, right? There's no shortage of garage sales. There's no shortage of thrifting because there's still supply within their local area. So I think those are things that you could control, and if you're not doing it and then you're complaining, then you know uh it won't be too long that you'll be out of the game.
What up, Miles? Big Money Mo. If you price too cheap, they'll think it's fake. I've noticed that on a lot of the jerseys. Not
Yeah.
only are they fake, but they're priced at like 25, $30. Like, what do you expect? But that is
Right.
true too. You have something that retail 250 and
Yeah.
you're selling at 60 or 70, then
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, what's going on here? A little
Yeah, there has
suspicious, but
yeah. I've definitely have those experiences, like, are this fake? I'm like, oh, why are they so cheap? Like, okay, wait a minute, let me double the price. Are they
yeah.
okay?
All right, so yes, and retrospective gear, always in life focus on what you can control.
Like that.
All right, number 2, show up and help others. If you're experiencing hard times, just keep showing up and adding value. Over deliver in every relationship, business or personal, until you focus on more on what's ahead rather than behind you. So let me see. After our partnership ended, I focused on adding value for others in every deal that I made. and talking more how like, let's say for example, the Nike manager or the Ross manager, when things were on fire, you were there, conversation, talking,
You're still
maybe
friendly. You're
maybe
friendly.
kissing ass a little bit.
Yeah. The $5 gift cards, the Starbucks, right?
Donuts.
Donuts. Yeah.
But now that things are dry, you're disappearing. It's kind of like, I think also they kind of see it as like, all right, obviously using me for products, you
Right.
really
Right.
don't
Right. Right.
care, you're not really even here.
Yeah.
I think keeping those relationships towards, when things do get better, hey, that manager starts calling you up, guess
Yeah.
what, we got this in. Even
Mhm.
when they're dry, who knows like what kind of,
Mhm.
we saw Jordan 4 start showing up at the outlets for kids,
Mhm.
the white Oreo, the UNC, some people did find these out there. So if some things do come in, at
Mhm.
least you're still in their mind.
Yep.
Same thing happens to out of sight, out of mind. You're not really there. So I think it's important to still have that value, the relationships, like they said
Yeah.
here, over deliver in every relationship.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a good deal. Like you hit up good points on relationship that are attached to your business, right?
Mm,
But one of the things that I could add is what about the relationships that are not directly attached to your business? Because as you know, as we always say, is like, oh, I've missed parties, I've missed birthday celebrations, I've missed certain events because you've had to hustle, and I'm a I'm a fan of those sacrifices because it will pay off. But now that you have time back, right? Now that you're not that busy, you're not, you know, busy running around trying to pick up your 5,000 pairs, right? Now it's just up to 2 pairs a day, right? So obviously you have time because one is you're not listening as much, two is you're not driving out as much. So I think this is the prime time to rekindle those friendships, family, do some like just because kind of dinners and lunches with people, and show them how you feel instead of just saying how you feel. So I think those are pretty good. Again, you can control those things, and then like I said, it goes vice versa, that even when times are tough, if you're there for other people, uh or even our times are good, you're still going to be there for them. So you know uh make use of your time properly and foster those relationships to flourish, because whether business is good or bad, we can always have those relationships to go back to, and lean on these people, whether you are the one that needs to lean onto them or they are the ones that need to lean onto you.
I mean, probably also another good point we should throw in there is just that also during this time might be a little bit more important than other times, because not because of the business part, but like B was saying, the personal part. When a time where they want us to be against each other,
Right.
so many crazy things going on. They want us to hate each other,
Right.
fight, argue about dumb stuff.
Hmm.
When there's friends and family that have maybe been there, maybe you've been there for them. Same thing like what B was saying, that all this stuff shouldn't even really matter, but you're
Hmm.
keeping those relationships there. Um, and really, it's not what they want, but which is good because you're keeping it
Right.
going,
Yeah.
keeping it strong.
Right. I
Shouldn't there be
agree.
some soft background music during the speech?
I mean, there should be. I mean, in your hearts there is, because apparently it resonated to Kent.
Big Money Mom actually doing more conversation and messing around now since it's dry, but enjoy the conversation with people in general. Big Money Mom.
Good point.
There we go. Rory, Mark Cuban, my guy for Dallas Mavs, says you can only control your effort and not the amount of customers who will demand your product. So just focus on the quality of your job and the rest will fall in line.
Agree.
All right. Number 3. When business is hard, it means it's worth it.
Hmm.
This person says, when I'm struggling with something, it's a sign that I'm stretching myself. What pushes me To keep going is the satisfaction of overcoming a challenge. I think about hills and cycling. If it's not hard, you're going downhill.
Mm, that's a good point.
I mean, when things are tough too, it just kind of it's gonna bring out, I guess, who you really are,
Who you
what kind of
truly are. Yeah, your
what kind
true
of challenges.
colors.
Yeah.
Your
So as of
true.
right now, for like the Dolphins losing so bad,
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
get to see who they really are,
Uh,
and they don't make the right adjustments at all.
it's
They're like, you know what? Let's just keep losing. We see certain players they fumble. Let's just keep them on the team in the same position, and we just hope that they're gonna change.
mm-hmm. Right, 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 right.
I mean, at what point do you have to make the right changes
Mm-hmm.
to start doing better?
Mm-hmm.
And hey, in that case, it's a football team. It's a business, and they're
Yeah.
running it to the ground,
Right,
just like
right.
they have been for the last, fine, maybe like 30 years. Hop on the piano piece, says Miles.
Yeah, yeah. Like
My Saints lost. I'm sad. Greystone. Who else? Their team lost on Sunday.
almost the Bucks.
Yeah, yeah. Brady wasn't gonna let that happen.
Oh.
So that is, I like number 3, especially during this difficult time. And we've said it before. You know, the strong are going to survive in the end, and we're going to see what happens.
Right, right, right.
Free Jacoby, vintage profit. All right, next number 4, B's favorite. Avoid shortcuts. I've learned something very valuable from some people that I've worked with. Never take a shortcut around a roadblock. My motivation to push past setbacks lies in knowing that if I can understand the root of the issue, I can move past it wholly versus solving it for a short term.
Man, you might have to read that again.
I mean, the shortcuts part, I think, man, I think it might have been one of the first things we talked about when maybe like we first started kind of throwing business talk and things like that.
Yeah.
That might have been one of the first ones you told me on shortcuts and the things you've noticed, I think, in the business.
Right.
So again, avoid shortcuts. This guy said, I learned something very, very valuable from some people I work with. Never take a shortcut around a roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
My motivation to push past setbacks lies in knowing that I can understand the root of the issue and I can move past it wholly versus solving it for the short term.
Yeah. I mean, I think right there is understanding the root of the issue, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, right? For example, like, it's like one of the things is like, why does why, like, we get asked like, how fast does your item sell, right? It's like what's fast, right? And then now you start saying, okay, like I have a 30% sell-through rate, and then they say it's like, oh my, why is mine so slow? And it's really not, it's not a sales issue, it's a inventory or a sourcing issue, right? uh One of the things that I've always quoted before is like, you don't have a capital issue, you have a buying issue. That means you're buying lower end ROI items instead of being patient for the better finds. So, I think in general, I think that will help you more trying to find out what the root and the cause of the issue is, better than just trying to brush it off. It's like, okay, it's the market's fault, it's Nike's fault, right? So now you're trying to do shortcut and jump ship and try to chase crypto, trying to chase uh you know cards all of a sudden, and think that you're gonna have an instant result, right? Because at the end of the day, right, for example, I'm relying on this business to make $20,000 a month, right? And if it doesn't make $20,000 a month, and I don't find the issue of the problem, next thing you know, next week I just start becoming a stock guru and crypto guru and Amazon seller, all the things that I'm not, because I didn't want to solve the issue. And I bet you 100% that I'm not gonna make 20 grand the next month. because one is there's a whole lot of things I have to figure out if I jump to a different category or a different type of business. That's why it, the shortcut might show some quick results, but ultimately it's not gonna replace what I've built over time, rather than stopping and trying to figure out what the cause of the issue is, why my factory is not printing money anymore, instead of jumping to a different factor to print different money. So I think that speaks a lot. The people that are chasing shortcuts really don't last long in that industry.
Sometimes shortcuts also lead to laziness
Hmm.
in different ways.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I could do 8 to 12 photos, but I'll just do like three.
Hmm.
I'll just
Yeah.
do three, and the lighting is kind of crappy, and then I'll just call it a day, and
Yeah,
then
that's
go from
true.
there. Um, so that's kind of a short, but then also expecting big money to come out of it. Your expectation is still high. Like, man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make
Right.
150 bucks on this,
Yeah.
but yet,
Put 50% effort, expect
yeah.
100% result.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't go that way.
Eric D, is it bad to be an Amazon seller? Of course not.
Nope.
Dolphins first draft pick. Well, now we'll get into that soon. Probably sooner than I would like. Maximo, my items take a long time to sell, but I price my items high. They will sell eventually.
Hmm.
Can't too many resellers can't afford to resell.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Quick flips equals low profit. Kent. So it says amen.
100%.
Pastor B.
100%.
Number 5. Just focus. Just focus on the next step. This person says, I stay motivated by concentrating only on the next step in front of me instead of the 1,000 steps to the finish line. Every
Mm.
step is a small victory. Sometimes people get a little ahead of themselves and also a little overwhelmed.
Right.
Like, you might see that death pile, and there's 50 items there.
Right.
And you're like, man, I'm going to get all these 50 items listed today. I'm just going to go through it all. And then things happen also with your family.
Hmm.
There's so many other things going on. You're trying to put out these mini fires.
Hmm.
I would just say, look, take it one step at a time. I
Right.
mean, I'd rather get one of those items listed than none, and that death pile is just there forever. I
Right.
mean, that one sale could bring in money that you could definitely use,
Hmm.
or it's just going to sit there forever.
Hmm.
Take it one item at a time. I
Hmm.
still know people to death pile. The same people that told me about death pile 3-4 months ago still haven't done anything with it. I'm like, what's going on here?
Hmm. Exactly.
Just take
Um,
it one item at a time.
that's really I think that's the best way to gain progress. Like one of the things that that reminds me about what Gary V used to say is like you have to be patient with a bigger picture goal, but with the mini goals you have to be fast.
Hmm.
So like for example, like just having the goal of cross listing 25 items. Obviously we're full time. That's a very low goal, but if we could smash it so quick, it kind of gives you that boost of energy because you've accomplished something. Uh, you know, uh, Conquering death piles, like you said, um, it shouldn't be a thing. As soon as you conquer it, you should have won that battle and then never have to deal with it again. Um, so yeah, don't in a journey of trying to accomplish success, focusing on the 1,000 steps is gonna overwhelm you. They call it it's a uh, paralysis analysis.
Hmm.
You're analyzing it too much that now you're paralyzed to make a move.
Yeah.
So you can't get yourself there. But at the end of the day, you're the one that's putting yourself there by thinking of all these 1,000 steps. But like Glenn said, if you just focus on the little things that you can do now, smaller goals, micro goals, uh, achievable goals that are can be reached today, right? Like I'm not gonna think about a 40,000 square foot warehouse and I can't even fill my 1,000 square feet house or
Yeah.
garage or basement, right? So I think that's a very a good advice, because at that point you've just thrown yourself on the deep end and having not to learn to swim on the shallow portion yet.
That's where a lot of people end up just giving up. But
Yeah,
not only in business, but
yeah,
in
everything. Yeah,
anything
yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever you set yourself up for. Yeah, yeah.
All right, let me see in here. Baker Brand, 60 plus watching, only 23 likes. Hit that like button. Appreciate that, Baker Brand. Make a realistic business plan, says Kent.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we got the last five. And we have number 6. Change your perspective. This person said, I've learned to approach my business from a healthy place. I want versus I need. I'm choosing to do something versus I have to do something. And I would probably look at it as like I want versus I need.
Hmm.
It's kind of like, man, I want a case of 12 retros right now.
Okay.
I need to list these shoes that are here sitting
First.
in this office.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, of course. Like, I want to come home, and I just picked up, 30 items today from Ross, Burlington. They got all this random stuff that hey, Nike's back, versus I really need to promote these listings, send offers,
Right.
cross list.
Hmm.
These are the things you need to be doing
Hmm.
rather than the things you want done or things you want to add to the
Yeah.
store. That's the way I would probably put into kind of reseller terms when I read this. What do you think?
Go with that.
The whole like I want versus I need, I maybe, or like perspective wise.
Yeah, I think the need is like, like the necessary thing to do to accomplish what you want. Like they're tied in together. Like, I want a sports car, but to be able to get that, you need $100,000, right? So you want $100,000. Now you need to work hard to get $100,000. Now, right? You want to work hard. Now you need to find out what you're passionate about, right? So you want to be passionate about something. Now you need to try and figure out what actually are the things that you're going to be passionate about. For example, like, that's why it's not hard for us to work on what we're doing, because we truly want it, and the success that we want in the future is actually requiring effort, the need to put in the work now. So I need 333,000 dollars worth of inventory if I want to become a millionaire, if I flip it 3 times a year. So, right, I need space. So I think that's relevant. And I think at this point, you're trying to make your want realistic, if it's even possible, once you figure out what are the things that you need to do.
Almost like, I guess we've seen people like, hey, I want to buy a house.
Hmm.
I want, yeah, you want a lot of things.
Hmm.
What do you need to do to get to that point?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
here's another random question. What does everybody think about housing market right now? I've heard a lot of different things that it might start going down with
Mhm.
everything else
Right.
because of people not working and things like that. I've
Yeah,
seen some houses already kind of go down and people are starting to like maybe go down to what they normally were
yeah,
because they did skyrocket up when
yeah,
everything was like, oh man,
yeah,
let's
and
get
took
houses
advantage
lit.
of yeah took advantage of the people that were impatient.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I'm trying to see like,
yeah,
wonder what's gonna happen here.
yeah.
And all these buddies that became realtors overnight. Wonder what's gonna happen there. People overpaying by 10 to 50K vintage profit for sure. I've seen people, man, paying more than that too, like
Hmm.
80K over.
Yeah,
Wait until next year to get a new house. Southtown finds. Show off reviews. Housing market will drop after January 2022.
yeah, and then, like, not to mention all the the houses that are about to get finished, right? That
Mhm.
were on construction. because I know the property management that handles my house. They were building aggressively, and they're about to be done by the end of the year. So just that surge.
Housing market has trends like anything else. DB, Kent, the market will always correct. Coach Steve, good locations won't go down too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brother moved back to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So I might. I mean, I love Austin. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very familiar. Like, it almost became like I guess like a second city to me from being here in El Paso. But man, the house that he got. I mean, what you can get in Austin, you get a kingdom here
Right
in El
in
Paso. And man, it is crazy. But Austin totally changed from when he first moved there to what it is now. But hopefully I can go and visit him soon and go over there. Yeah, Austin hot right now. Kent. Lumber shortage, reason for housing spike. Very true. I live in Dallas area. No stopping to be seen in the housing market. Demand, Rory. As a truck driver, trucks are 3 times its price. Maximo.
Mm-hmm.
Man. All right, let's get to the next one. Number 7, accepting responsibility. How would you say accepting responsibility with it being dry right now? I mean, technically it's not. I mean, it's not your fault that Nike's not getting things, or it's not your fault Nike bumped up the prices of React Elements to 85 to 125.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what you can take responsibility for is, all right, I didn't take full advantage when I had the capital
Mm-hmm.
and those $20 Jordan 1 cleats, and I thought I was flooded, so I left them behind. But
Mm-hmm.
accepting responsibility, I think that's good, but I also wouldn't go back. I just don't like the idea of going backwards. So this is kind of one that I'm like, all right, you're responsible for your business, I get it, but
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't look totally back, and I don't want to move forward,
Right,
but
right.
at least the responsibility part, all right, I guess I get it.
I think in life, really, like, I've read this book. It's called Extreme Ownership. That everything ultimately is your fault, because at the end of the day, you there are a lot of circumstances that can happen to you, but you know how the saying, right? What you can control is the reaction that you do after that.
Mm.
Um, uh, I think the ultimate responsibility really happens when you actually learn from that mistake, because you're not really taking full responsibility if you just keep making the same mistake.
Mm.
That
True.
means you haven't learned from it. That means you didn't, because at the end of the day, right? For example, like, this certain mistakes are actually like they're tests, right? And then if you fail this test, you should have a cheat code on how to do the next time around,
Mm.
right? Or you should have a clue how this would look like. Perfect example. We've had situations before where we misprint the label, or misplace the label, right? Like a switchover, like the jacket went to the shoe buyer, the shoes went to the jacket buyer. um I could count in our probably only happened 3 to 4 times in our business career in eBay,
Mm.
because at that point we've solved it. We've created a system to avoid it. There's double checking, there's arranging it in order so that it won't get misplaced. um, so so that's taking full responsibility of your actions, even though you've made a mistake already.
Mm.
But when you take responsibility of it, you can't make that mistake again, or else you haven't really learned from it.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're allowing yourself to make at that point you've allowed yourself to make the same mistake over and over again. So now you're still responsible why you made this mistake again. So a lot of times, like, I get annoyed uh and get frustrated when there are issues that we have resolved that still becomes an issue moving forward.
See, this is why we have you on this show. Pastor B can explain things better than I can. So there we go. Miles, exactly, B.
Yeah,
Learning from the
exactly.
situations is the best way to be responsible. Miles.
Oh, is it?
Quote Miles.
Cold Miles. Yeah.
So, all right, that was number 7. We got 3 more.
Okay.
All right, number 8. Keep pushing and adjusting. If you do something, do it with passion and purpose. The best way to prepare for whatever the future holds is to do everything the best of your ability. Enjoy the journey. There will always be setbacks. You may have to go against the grain for years.
Oh.
The experiences we value most in life are often the most challenging. They push you out of your comfort zone and help you grow. Now, kind of a what if Ross stayed this dry for 3 years? Burlington stayed this dry, and in 2024 they started to get a bunch of stuff. They were back to like 2018, 2019 prime.
Hmm. Hmm.
What would happen then? I wonder what I don't know. I mean, yes, it's like a minor setback right now that
Yeah.
it's been drier, but
Hmm.
I mean, I don't see that happening. Just because Nike would, I don't know what they would do. Nike
Yeah.
Outlet for one, but but having that in here that you may have to go against the grain for years is definitely interesting because when 2018, early 2019, IG, everyone's finding everything's fire,
Hmm.
everyone's dominating.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't think we've never seen it to where we'd had to go against the grain for years or have that ultimate struggle to see
Yeah.
where people kind of come out after that.
Yeah, I don't think it takes years. I mean, like, one of the things that we talked about before, like, like the people that even that watches the videos here, they kind of cycle through every 3 to 6 months.
Hmm.
So in business, obviously, there is really a high, turnover rate. Which Big Money Mo, I like what he said. That's why I live way under my income, because um, going against the grain would be like, now I make over 6 figures, but still don't pay myself.
Hmm.
Um, you know, it's obviously something that the concept of not making money yet for me is, it's weird for other people. They see what we've built as like, man, you made it, right? Like, but ultimately, like, man, I'm still so far. I'm not even halfway through my ultimate goal yet to do consistently. Um, but they say like, so how much do you pay yourself? Like, I don't, like, I'm actually broke. Like, like if I truly wanna cash out, I would sell one of my collections or my investments
Hmm.
to cash out early. Um, so I think that's a concept that's against the grain, because ultimately people, like, if you hit some level of success, they buy a house, right? Like a lot of times, the the I would say the average kind of like life path would be like, every time you make a income increase, you buy
Reward
something,
yourself.
you reward yourself, or the worst case is like you tie yourself up to a longer debt,
Yeah.
right? We've seen this for people that uh they've made their first job, now they get a car payment, right? Now they get promoted, and they get married, they have kids. Now after that, it's just bigger house, bigger car, bigger house, bigger car. But ultimately, they've just tied themselves into a longer mortgage. Now they gotta work for the next 50 years to pay off
Hmm.
whatever they had. So, so now it's like you have to go against that grain.
Hmm.
Whatever you're taught to do, like offer a credit card here and there, car loan here and there, uh, and if you don't manage your finances really good, then you just get sucked in the system. That
Hmm.
now all of a sudden, yes, you make millions, but you're still what we call that, month to month. right? Like your income comes in and goes out, income comes in, so just making ends meet. So it doesn't, that's why a lot of the NBA or pro players, right? As soon as they get a lower contract, all of a sudden they broke because their their expenses are
Yeah, the expenses are high.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
very true.
Yeah.
And also, I think also being patient, like you said about settling, and
Mm,
if you
right.
can wait longer for
Mm,
a smarter choice. That was something that I did for getting this house, because I remember my dad was like, "What are you waiting for? Just get a house and do
mm-hmm.
this and do that." And for me, I was like, I don't want to rush into something just because. I wanted
Right.
to make sure I had the right money built up, because I didn't want to pay the PMI. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to
Yeah.
give money that I know, as long as I have, I owe more. I mean, I own more of this house. I don't want to be paying this extra money. I
Mm-hmm.
had a friend that like he just how much did he still owe? Like, I think he was in his house for like 6 years, and
Mm-hmm.
then he's like, "Nah, I don't fit in this house anymore. Like, me and my family, we need a bigger house." And it's just like,
Right.
but why? It's like you
Right.
don't. You're
Mm-hmm.
telling yourself you do, but
Yeah.
you can make your way in this house and keep paying
Yeah.
it off, and then eventually you're gonna own this house. Figure out
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have property taxes, we have things like that, but living under your means, paying attention to all these things that you're just not stuck in debt. It's super
Yeah.
smart. I didn't learn that until way later on. Trust me,
Right.
and dumb stuff that car it was just like
Right.
stupid. Like what are we doing here?
Right. Right. No, it's totally true. And especially for people that don't want to sacrifice more, right? Like one of the things that I've realized is like, yes, it's okay to treat yourself or increase your living, obviously, right? Obviously, from jumping from apartment to this house, it added about $1,000 of expense a month. Um, but two things I could have done is I could have not moved here because it would have been a lot more. But one thing I knew was I was gonna be able to hustle harder.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna tell me you're gonna increase your living expenses and you want to coast through the rest of your life or the rest of the next level, see, that's where you go negative.
Mhm.
Right? I feel like there has to be a gap between your income and then your expense, and then this cannot cross that line. I think if this start going up, this gap's got to go higher, right? And if you can sustain it, that's why this guys drive fancy sports car and keep doing it because they keep going growing their income. The problem is the people that don't want to grow their income, they just want to start flexing. Ultimately, in 5 years, look at them, they won't be there
Yeah.
anymore.
House expense is not terrible, but you must maintain, says Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it sucks being an adult. I remember I was like, dude, what's the deal with this water heater? And then we got like, not now, but it was
Okay.
like what, last year.
Did you have to get it replaced?
I didn't have to get it replaced, but I was like, what? Why isn't it? Um, I
Under
would
warranty or
reset it.
something
I
like
would
that?
do everything, and it just was not.
Okay, right,
It
right,
was
right.
not working. And then finally, it's because something went weird that like I don't know, I had like a power outage or
Uh,
something, and just threw everything off. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep messing with this thing. Finally, it's like got it to work, and things always come up, and I don't think
mhm,
that sucks being an adult, but it is what it is.
mhm.
All right, next we got two left. Failure is not an option. So this person said their business was struggling. They had a sick mother, stressed, no sleep, other setbacks. They overcame this, grew the business. 10 years later, merged with the largest real estate company in the country. Through it all, it never occurred to me that I would just fail. Worst situation taught me the best lesson. There's no substitute for mindset, work ethic, and discipline. So this is kind of going where like, here's a question for the chat then. Did that ever hit you at any point to where, you know what? things are a little crazy right now. I'm not really finding inventory, in that mindset that like I might just fail. Because
Mm,
for some reason, well, for some people, they have that full thing in their mindset too, where it's kind of like, I know I'm not gonna fail because I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure
right.
this thing, I succeed in this.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
there's definitely two kinds of people. There are people that believe they will fail eventually,
hmm,
or that failure is realistic for them, or it's too real. Um, I'm talking about beliefs, right? I'm talking belief, and there are people that, like you said, I can't fail.
yeah,
I can't fail because of the amount of effort I've put in, and those are like telling that, looking at back at my previous self, back in the day when, I just failed a project or a business, I'm gonna feel like, man, how did that happen, right? Like when you just failed at something, you said, like, you feel shocked that it failed, but actually, given some time, you actually really know why you failed. Because one, you didn't put enough effort ultimately, or you gave up before, or it could just be a bad idea. But there are people that, for example, like, like, not really to brag, but just to kind of like maybe inspire somebody, or give some thinking to what your business model will be like. I cannot think that I'm gonna fail anytime soon, just because of the amount of inventory that we've built throughout time. Now, it wasn't an easy route. I had to wiggle, adjust, borrow PayPal capital to get here. Use some credit card debts and stuff like that. But I'm at a point that it's impossible for me to fail, because at the end of the day, I have investments that are collectibles, and I have brand new items that are worth double what I paid for, right? So I think you have to be that person. You have to be that person that do everything in your control, that when you go through hard times or difficult times, you're gonna say, I can't fail now,
yeah,
because I've laid down the work, I put in the foundation. So you've done everything you could. Because at that point, if you still fail, it's not gonna be devastating, because deep inside you that you've done everything.
yeah.
Like, you did your best. So I think that will give you peace either way, whether you've done everything that you could, or you failed, and you still could say, like, hey, hats off to myself, pat in the back, on to the next one.
Can we get Mo on the show? I think Big Money Mo, he wants to be on. He doesn't have to have his camera. We could change his voice, whatever he
Mm,
wants to do to not
right,
show
right,
his
right,
true
right.
identity. We can definitely do that if he wants to.
Hmm.
Let me see. I thought I was gonna fail. Then I looked at my inventory and said, "Nah, I'm good. Show off reviews." There we
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Exactly.
Steph with little wave.
Hmm.
Let me go back up. Market will collapse soon. All these people were living rent free with no eviction. Eric D. All right, we got one more left. Last one before we go. Number 10, remember the lows don't last. As an entrepreneur, there are always setbacks and challenges. I try to remember the lows don't last. Here's what I like this part, and either do the highs. Dealing
Right.
with both is part of the journey, and that's what makes growing a company so exciting. Now, I like that because I mean it's true. I mean when we saw the highlight reels on IG in 2019,
Hmm.
I know there's that same mindset too in some of us that are like, yeah, this is good right now.
Right, right, right.
But when it's not, we'll know. And and so yes, this little downfall right here, this little low
Right,
part
right,
also
right.
will not last forever. But now that it's here, yes,
Hmm.
things are gonna get back up. We don't know when, but we're going
Yep.
through it because it's part of the journey, like it's
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
And I like that part too because there's very few people that do know that with like this, with things going at all-time high, it's not going to last forever. And I've seen them make the adjustments, and the same thing. So the wife's cousin actually bought a Corvette.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a house, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But he also knew that at where he was at with the job, it was kind of more like a contract type of thing, that it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going to last forever. But
Right.
while it was, the money was good. He actually put a lot of money into crypto. So what he ended up doing was he sold the Corvette,
Mm-hmm.
downgraded. He has like a Kia now,
Uh-huh.
put a lot of that money into crypto, still has the house.
Mm-hmm.
But now with that contract situation with the job, he actually doesn't have that job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, I knew it was going to last forever, but while it did, I went all in and did everything that I could.
Mm-hmm.
And he's super smart about it. And so he's not hurting for money now
Right.
or anything like
Right.
that. But I think at the very beginning, getting that money too is kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I could really lose out on this. And
Right.
he started to really be smart about what he was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the highs, there's the lows,
Yeah.
all part of it.
And I think what would measure your success during this so-called life or journey that you're living through right now is your acceptance or your relationship with the highs and lows. Um, the moment you realize that that's so real and accept it, that it's a part of your journey, like you said, is the moment you're gonna think twice on making dumb financial decisions.
Mm.
Let's just talk about money to be plain. Like if I know that I'm the type of person after 3 years would get bored or would quit at something and try to find something, I wouldn't put myself in a situation where I would have a car that's on car payment and a house that's on mortgage, and then after hitting it big, I would just settle for a mediocre job and have to pay high expenses.
Mm.
So once you accept that it's going to be highs and lows, and now it's just a matter of how you dance with it and how you adjust your sales according to the wind. I 100% agree. When there's cash or capital invested on inventory, right? Like I've always repeated again, I'm broke because I've put all my money in inventory. And I've gonna accept that there will be broke times, but man, when the payment hits, it's gonna be big money, big high dollar items. So if you understand that, uh, I think you'll do good in life. I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be able to say it's like, I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Big Money Mo, yeah, we definitely hide your identity.
Hmm.
We'll have systems in place. You can change your voice. You'd be like the front man on Squid
Yeah.
Game. We won't
You
even
think
know your voice.
you think this is how we look in real life?
Yeah, we can definitely change that. Q4 is coming. Stay positive, Miles. You have to take it day by day. You know that things can change at the drop of a dime. Got to learn how to adapt. For sure. Miles, here we go. All 10. Before we go, focus on what you can control. Number 1. Number 2, show up and help others. Number 3, when business is hard, it means it is worth it. Number 4, avoid shortcuts. Number 5, just focus on the next step. Number 6, change your perspective. Number 7, accept responsibility. Number 8, keep pushing and adjusting. Number 9, failure is not an option. Number 10, remember the lows don't last.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We are done. Steven, to see you learning a lot from each other. I'm unfortunate my wife has been a reseller for 19 years. UPS, ups. Sorry, I said the UPS. Ups and downs. Yes, it is a wording every day. Vintage Profit, Big Money Mo. All right, we are done. Man, quick hour and quick 10 tips for overcoming business setbacks. Wednesday, we'll be ready to go. Same show as normal. There we go. Monday Night Football is on, says Kent. So he's ready. Baker Brand, smash that like button before we go. Mindset Monday. Thanks for hanging out. and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see you on Wednesday. So go ahead and get it. See ya.
Peace.